Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization, weekly tip number 7, recovery tip this time, be easy on the internet drama. What? How does that interfere with recovery at all? So here's the thing, when you get an internet drama, what do I mean? You get on an Instagram post, and it's a political post, and you start replying to people, and they're fascists, or they're communists, or they're SJWs, or they're alt-right trolls, whatever, and you're one of the other opposite categories that, or even you're a rational thinker maybe. You get pissed. You start typing away, how dare you, blah, 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 you are a bad person, etc. And you go back and forth and back and forth. Maybe you're in multiple comment section at the same time. I've been there. I'll probably see you there at some point. That kind of thing gets you what is called psychologically aroused. Okay, we don't mean porn aroused, which is fun and nice and actually reduces your fatigue, but getting angry online aroused is not a great thing for a variety of actual reasons. And here they are. A few hours, and some of us have been there longer, even 30 or 40 minutes of arguing in YouTube comments or Twitter or Instagram can do a few things. First, it can increase your cortisol and other fight or flight hormones, which lead to much more fatigue and actually decrease the physical mechanisms by which you gain muscle. Yes, arguing online can literally cost you gains. What? Next, it can decrease your psychic energy for later training in that day. So if you wake up at 9 a.m. and you start checking texts and Insta stuff and you're like, blah, 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 and you're arguing, you get to the gym, you feel drained and you're like, oh my God, like I've been in the zone before of arguing with people and I get to the gym and I'm like, oh my God, I have to train. Like I felt like I've sort of spent myself yelling at people online. I don't have any oomph, any psychic energy left to yell at the weights. And that's a really, really bad deal. If you argue in the later part of the day, like you start at 8 p.m. and it's 11 and your girlfriend's like, hey, you coming to bed? And you're like, I have to win this online argument against this fucking idiot. And you may lay down even after you've stomped him, whatever, intellectually, you put your phone down and you try to lay down and you're like, and then 2 hours later, you're like, and you still can't fall asleep because you're super pissed. And even if you feel victorious, you're still sort of aroused in that sense of your psychology is elevated. And then you miss out on sleep. And remember, sleep is a huge thing that makes you leaner and more muscular and recovers you better and all these things. If you're missing out on sleep to win some Instagram wars, gee whiz, that may actually not make a lot of sense. And lastly, arguing online probably accomplishes either nothing, close to nothing, or negative, where you, by calling people assholes, further entrench them into their ridiculous beliefs, which you yourself find to be erroneous. Now, serious lifters generally avoid getting pissed on the internet. For the most part, we all slip up every now and again. I'm guilty of it too, a lot. But the more you can not do shit like that, or rather I should have said, the less you can do that shit, the better. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to discuss issues online, shit that's important, right? Like whatever, global warming, political stuff, social stuff. You might want to discuss it. If you want to discuss it and not get super pissed yourself and make headway in convincing people, check out, link in the description, my Arguing to Convince video where I teach you how to argue with people in a way that probably convinces them, number one, and number two, doesn't really drain you because you're super open-minded and super sympathetic and you're like, hey, I'm just exploring ideas, no big deal, right? Give that a thought. Stop being super pissed, but I'll tell you this, if you're really still pissed and you want to argue, I'll take a shot at the title with you down below. See you in the comments.